Hi everybody, my name's Carly. My pronouns are she and her, and I'm coming to you from my home studio and office space here in Kingston, Ontario. Today I want to work to discover some strength and resiliency in our knees. One of the issues that I hear so often from working with private clients is they have bad knees. And it brings to mind a quote that I've heard before, which is the dose makes the poison, which in this case translates to mean that maybe it's not an issue of having bad knees, maybe it's an issue of being overused or underprepared. So just like with any part of the body that's experiencing either chronic or reoccurring injury or chronic pain, we want to try to gently, progressively increase load or increase challenge by, and therefore increase our capacity or ability to function better in that part of the body, and today specifically with knees. So for this practice, I've got a non-slip yoga mat, and on top of that, I've got my chair. Any chair will do, preferably one with a horizontal base, so it's parallel to the floor. It's not tipping forward or tipping back. I've also got two different heights of blocks, so I'm using yoga blocks. You could use any sturdy item in your home that's around the same height. This yoga block is maybe 3 or 4 fingers in height. It happens to match my outfit. I'm not complaining about it. And then a second yoga block is about a whole 5 fingers or palm width. So you want to grab something sturdy that's not going to slip, because we're going to step onto those. So let's start off with our smaller prop down to the floor. Now you're always able to use your chair to provide a little support for your arm, because a lot of these exercises or movements that we're going to be doing today are on one leg. So if you feel a little unsteady as you start, you're welcome to grab a chair and use that for support, or practice near a wall where you can place your hands. So we're going to start off by standing on that smaller of the two props. And our standing leg is our support leg. The leg that's stepped onto the block is our support leg. I'm going to turn sideways to show this actually. You want to engage your core and slowly and controlled bend your knee to just let that heel of the other leg tap the ground, and then use your standing leg driving into that prop to come to stand back up. So I'm going to move this chair out of the way. We'll do that a few times on the same leg. So the standing leg, the one that's providing your foundation, we need to establish stability or strength through that leg. And one way that I like to do that is imagine like you were going to turn the foot out like a V shape from your thigh, and then engage the leg in that way, but without moving the foot itself. So the whole leg is kind of engaging in this externally rotating position. My seat engages, my core is engaged, I'm breathing in and out through the nose, and then as I bend the knee, I'm going to tap the heel and straighten. Tap and straighten. You can use your arms to help here if you'd like, or you can stand with your hands on your waist. Take breaks as often as you need, maybe a couple more times. Tap, straighten. And then if that's starting to feel really solid, we can do the same thing tapping behind. So the leg that's moving stays straight. It's the standing leg that's bending. So we've got a nice strong leg. It's going to bend so I can tap my heel, straighten, and then bend so I can tap my toe, straighten, heel, toe. And again, that's something you might choose to work your way up to. Toe, heel, toe. So when we talk about building capacity by increasing load, I mentioned the word progression or progressively. So how do you know how much is too much in your body? Whenever we're working, you want to feel a sensation, certainly, as you engage those muscles, but nothing more than like a 7 out of 10. If it starts to feel like more than a 7 out of 10 in terms of sensation, or if you can't catch your breath, if you catch yourself holding your breath or clenching any part of your body, that's a good indication that you've reached your maximum for that day. So now let's switch to the larger block. This time we're going to do lateral tap. So I've got the block, it's nice and sturdy on the ground, hinging my hips once again to control the movement here. And my knee, this standing leg knee, I really want, as I bend the knee, I want the knee to move towards my second or third toe. So I don't want too much wobble. It's a good idea to hold a chair if you find that hard to manage. I also want it to bend straight out and come back in the same line that it left. And with the other leg, it's going to stay straight. I'm going to hinge at my hips and tap the heel out to the side. So bend the knee, hinge, tap to the side. You can see, I'm going to pull up my pant leg maybe. There you go. You can see this standing leg is moving out towards my second or third toe. It's not coming in or too far out. Strong core, hinge at the hips till you reach your more than 7 out of 10. A second way that you can know if maybe you've done a little too much is likely your leg is going to feel some difference tomorrow because we're engaging it in really different ways. So it might feel a little different tomorrow, but if it still feels that way the next day, maybe we did a little too many reps or a little too much load when we were practicing here together. So that's the other way you can determine how much is too much. How are we all feeling? Are you breathing? Are you clenching? When you're done with that, now we bring in the chair. So whenever you're working with a chair, you want to make sure the chair itself has non-slip grippies on the bottom, and or at least 2 of the 4 legs are positioned onto a non-slip yoga mat. If you don't have a grippy mat, you can always set your chair up against a wall. That might help. Or weight it down if you're able to. You really want to be sure that you feel like you can trust that the chair is going to hold the weight of your body when you come down and use it for support. So we're going to stand with our feet equally weighted. So same idea here. Stand wherever you feel like your feet feel the most strong and stable. Notice the positioning of your weight through the center of your heel, the knuckle or the ball of your big toe, and the ball of your baby toe. See if you can equalize the weight through those 3 places. And then engage the legs. So how would your legs feel if you were preparing to take a big jump? What would that feel like? How do you find engagement through the legs? Now, check to make sure that as you bend, the chair is going to end up right under your seat. Your hands, once again, can be on your hips or straight in front of you. The weight is going to stay equal on both feet. So that's the key here. Hinging from the hip creases, you're going to squat down and stand back up. So take a little peek. Make sure your knees are moving out past your second or your third toe. Maybe you're coming down onto the chair. Maybe you're not. But the drive is happening in your legs. And you want to equally press as they both bend equally. They both push down into the floor to bring you back up. So again, you want to repeat these as many times as you feel like you can maintain this control, that you can breathe, and that the effort is maybe about a 7 out of 10 or so. Sink that seat way back. Find the base of your chair. And after you've reached your capacity there, we're going to do a staggered leg squat. So one leg is going to come forward of the other. And you can experiment with how much weight is on both legs. The leg that's underneath you, so the one that kind of didn't move, that's holding the most weight. And then as you come back, it's doing the most amount of work. So I've got probably 80% of my workload happening in my right leg, 20% in my left. Both triangles of my feet are still strongly connected to the ground. Both feet, the knees are still moving past the second or third toe. I'm going to switch to the other side. Remember, if you're able to, you can just keep on going. You don't have to stop when I stop. So I've got a staggered step here. Not sure if you can see that. And the leg that didn't move is doing most of the work. And this is how you're going to work your way up to a single leg squat. Eventually, you can step a little further forward and you're like 90-10. And then you could take the leg away and continue to do your squats in that way. So this is how we build progression. Just gradually inch yourself up. The other thing to keep in mind about progression is it takes a long time. If your body adapted very quickly, that means that if you woke up and you had a little kink in your neck, well, your body might adapt to that shape, and now you're kind of stuck with that kink. So it's actually a really good thing that our bodies adapt slowly, but it also means that we need to be patient. So give yourself time to experiment with this mobility routine, strengthening those knees, and add more and more repetitions or more and more load as you get stronger and become more capable. Thanks so much for watching. Take good care of your knees, and I'll see you next time.